All right. Welcome back to another live show. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Sometimes we have technical issues that arises every once in a while, but got another good show for tonight. Got a special look into a good group of individuals that are bonded together in their mission that seems to affect the Bigfoot community in their hoaxing attempts. And then this episode, we're going to take a dive. The first section of the episode, we're going to look at these guys, the Sasquatch Watchers. And then we'll be taking a dive into a couple videos of theirs, some shenanigans, of course. And then we'll be taking a look at some AI pictures and some other pictures that I found. And then we'll dive into some AI storytelling with some chat GPT or whatever. Sorry, I'm getting a bunch of notifications right now. And so we'll actually take a look at not only storytelling stuff, but actually some stuff that you can ask it, and some interesting responses that I already got that I think is interesting to share. And then we will be throwing the link into the show here in a little bit. And then, yeah, if you guys have questions and stuff for the AI, we can ask it to give us some answers and stuff. And then if it can't give us answers and stuff, there's some ways to work around its parameters. I am making sure I got all the videos I have lined up this time around, because last time we did not. We were missing 2 videos, even though we showed them off the phone. It's better to be able to have all the videos already uploaded on here and stuff onto StreamYard itself and stuff. It's a little easier than showing it off of files off the computer or off of YouTube, off of StreamYard. Okay. So yeah, so got a couple interesting videos to start out with, and some educational. And this is all educational purposes. And honestly, this is because we need to take a serious look at people who are just blowing smoke up people's asses. Honestly, these individuals, knowingly, I am positive that they are misleading all their subscribers, everyone who watches them. They try to partain knowledge and do all this stuff that presents them as experts and who are doing the right thing, moving the ball down the field. But we're going to show examples here tonight that shows the opposite of that, of actual manipulation, hoaxing, actually brazen hoaxing and stuff. These guys not that smart and stuff. And we've already shown that in a couple clips previously at the very start of the Bigfoot and hoaxing series. We showed them one of their individuals. I honestly have not even learned their names, but yet. But one of them threw a rock, picked up a rock and threw it up behind him or whatever, and it got filmed of him doing the movement and stuff. We already explained some of that. So they already got called out for that. We're going to show some other stuff that we're going to call out, which is pretty interesting. And it's brazen. It's almost pathetic that not only did they do this sort of stuff, but people watch it and people accept it. People, yeah, it was Bigfoot, or everything is Bigfoot. And they're racking up the views, they're racking up the subscribers who, sometimes, some people just get a kick, get a laugh and stuff, and just do it that way. And they do so much hyping up too, exactly on their lives when they go out and they do their thing. They are Bigfoot on the brain, and I think it's more like drama club and theater. They are like hyping each other up and waiting for anything to happen, anything and everything to happen. Actually, we'll show examples of natural animal calls that they, for some reason, they can't understand. They don't want to accept, or they are fooling themselves, or they're just acting, which is I think we can tell with some of the smirks and stuff that they get, some of the stuff that they show, body language stuff that they do. So we're going to begin by showing some of these examples. And it's pretty pathetic, honestly, I think. So we got a couple of them. So let's start out with the good old one from last week. All right, so this is a video of what do you guys think? A transforming magical dragon, right? Because that's obviously what you see on video. Use your eyes and common sense, right? So let's hear what the one of these Squatch Watchers think it is, and look at his reaction as he says it. I think that's very truth telling.
So this video was sent to us from South Carolina. I know it's not much, but could it possibly be a Bigfoot or a shape-shifting skinwalker? I don't know. You be the judge. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, he doesn't know, right? If I was to showcase that video, I would laugh at it because, it's just a person walking. It's not a shape-shifting Oompa-Loompa. It certainly is not a skinwalker, certainly not whatever. And it's apparent when you make those kind of faces that you don't even believe the bullshit that's coming out of your mouth. And I think it's amazing that they literally put this stuff together, put it out there, think it's okay. Like, oh yeah. And it's because they don't really give a shit is what it is. They don't give a crap what we think, because they are racking up views, racking up subs. The kids are believing this, adults are believing this. I don't know who's believing this. It's just so laughable. So let's take another look at another one who's who absolutely are standing by these videos that they're posting, and because they're going to show themselves and their body language supporting it. So here's another one, and so watch. Let's just watch it again. Whoa, boom! His mind's exploded with watch the deer. If you guys didn't notice it, I'll try to make it a little bit more noticeable and stuff. Look at the back as it grows, right? So we'll slow it down a little bit. Actually, it's Photoshop. Basically, they just stretch the deer out. Literally, one of the most basic Photoshop techniques done on a deer. You literally just stretching the deer out a little bit. I in motion on camera, and one of the Squatch Watchers' mind is blown. It don't get better than that. You can't. If their mind is blown, look at him. That's what he's saying. That's what they're supporting. He don't have to say it. No words needed. That's what they said. Skinwalker caught on video. No words needed. That's coming from them. And I'm laughing at it. It's my laughing emoji because it's just like, what? Your mind's blown at the most basic Photoshop technique. And, come on. They have to know it, right? So that is really kind of like Rick Dyer stuff. Like, these guys don't really care what they're putting out, whatever garbage that is complete garbage. Anyone who's in this field any kind of field that looks into video analysis of looking for freaking Bigfoot on video, looking for evidence, ghosts, paranormal, UFOs, whatever. You're looking for videos for evidence, would laugh at that. Anyone from any community, who doesn't have their head up their ass, would laugh at that video, and it would. How can you support that? If that was a ghost hunter and he put that on some ghost channel, there's no way that the people in that community who actually conduct themselves as researchers would believe that and support that. We should not support this at all. We should call this out. This is even worse than like hoaxing. This is like de-evolution of a society of people who are watching and trying to come into the community. They watch that. You get some little kid who wants to be a Bigfoot researcher, and they start watching that, and they start believing all that, even though they might think, well, does that kind of looks like Photoshop. These guys, these heroes, these experts are teaching them, molding them to believe this nonsense, to believe this bullshit. Some of them will believe it and go on to be in our community to make believe up stuff, to believe whatever. And it's really what we don't want. We want people to come into our community and being enlightened and inspired and being thoughtful and using our brains, right? And not falling for the most basic Photoshop technique that you can do, which is stretching the image. I mean, it's not that, you can see the blurry lines. You can see how it's literally Photoshopped. Like, it's not magic. It's not a skinwalker, right? But, so, come on. We need to use our fucking brains. Let's be adults. Let's be mature, right? We can use swear words. We can understand language. We can understand that this is not up to standards when it comes to what researchers should put out and support. If any one of us who I took seriously put out this and starts and did this, I would laugh. I would. This is something that we need to take seriously and go after these guys because they have 100-something thousand subs or whatever, and it's like that's a lot of influence. There's a lot of influencers, and stuff. Well, a lot of people see that who never thought about seeing Bigfoot or getting into the subject. They have no. Maybe they've seen a little bit of Finding Bigfoot, and the first researcher, non-TV researcher type people they come across is those guys on some of their videos when they're going out. And of course, they're out and adventuring and in the woods, and they see stuff, they hear stuff. They're going to think they're legit, and then they're going to see these guys posting this sort of stuff, and then they get sucked into this garbage grinder, which eats them up and spits them out to La La Land and the woo side, and it's not even real. So like your whole foundation is fantasy off these guys, and how many dozens of people are going to actually try to be actively in our community or more, and are influenced by these kind of sort of people, these sort of things, this simple trickery, and yet they go on to have stories, they go to have research, they go to have evidence, and somehow, we can't trust anyone who would, come up from these people. I'm looking at, 5-10 years in the future and stuff when, you have teenagers and stuff who are trying to get in the field and, trying to look at stuff. And these are probably the biggest guys in their area. And it's not good influence. It's definitely not good to have, to degrade your intellectual level to these guys just because you like them, or oh, I seen this other video of them out in the field and it looks like they heard stuff. I see everyone in chat. How's it going? Crypto Crystal, Pyromedic. How's it going, Jay Fritz? Let's get on to this other videos. Some basic stuff that we're gonna watch, and it's right here. Some basic stuff. This is the most basic stuff ever. Now, this is obviously a Bigfoot messing with the dog. That is what the Squatch Watchers are saying. So obviously it's true. I mean, you hear it. I mean, what do you guys think? You guys ever hear this in the woods? You guys think this is totally Sasquatch, dog man? Oh, that's laughing? Is that Bigfoot laughing? Oh, that sounds like a hyena, right? Oh, that sounds like Bigfoot. That's what they're saying. Sounds like a Bigfoot messing with the dog. Totally, it's hilarious. It's ridiculous, and the people who are falling for it are think this is a Bigfoot messing with the dog, which it's a coyote. If you guys don't know, I'm sure a lot of people who've been hunters or been out in the wilderness who done this a little bit, that is a coyote. It is not exactly a normal sound, right? It's a cat. It sounds like it's a cackling coyote sound, right? And it's a laughing hyena sound, like sometimes coyotes make. Sometimes individuals make. Sometimes you don't very hear it. It's not always the yipping and the normal coyote sounds. That is something that if I heard, I would laugh at these guys for thinking it's a fucking Bigfoot. Excuse my language, but it's a Bigfoot. I have to say it that hard because this is ridiculous. This is common foundation where anyone who comes in the subject, anyone who wants to learn about Bigfoot, wants to go out in the woods to learn about the most basic sounds that coyotes make, or you start getting sounds, you'll come across, oh, I should look at for birds, should look for coyote sounds, owl sounds. One of these for coyotes comes up. Laughing coyotes, cackling coyotes, kind of sounds like hyenas and stuff. This is very basic stuff. It's not a Bigfoot. It sounds canine. And we'll play it again right here. And that is a coyote. It's canine. And that is one canine to another. It's not rocket science. It's nowhere near it. And so basically, I mean, this is a joke. This is a sad joke for our community that these guys have basically just dive bombed into and done their own thing. They're and they put out this junk and support it. Oh, Bigfoot. It's not. It's ridiculous. Because these guys are ridiculous. I don't think they take this seriously. I don't think that they've ever come across Bigfoot stuff yet. And I will be taking more deep dives into their live stuff to break some of the stuff down. But from what I've already seen and already went through, it's pretty apparent that these guys are acting. All right, so let's get another look at a couple different things at these guys lying. All right.
Hello. Listen to them dogs.
What's got them tore up?
What's got them tore up?
I've never heard that.
Never heard
Then
that.
they stop.
What shut them up?
So that one might be a little harder to hear. We'll listen to it again. And so what they're hearing and stuff is monkeys going off, right? The monkey calls going off, and that's what they're whooping out there, So try to listen to that again. And this is not a very common call that you actually will hear out there, but this is a very common call that you will get used to if you go out there long enough and you're out in the woods, out researching. All right, so you can hear it at the beginning very good. You can hear it echoing out there, and it sounds like whooping going on.
Hello. Listen to them dogs.
What's got them tore up?
I've never heard that. Then they stop.
What shut them up?
Yeah. Well, what? Any guesses? Anyone want to guess? Take a guess. Don't know. They don't know. They're trying to say hello, like it's right there. Basic owl calls. You hear the owl hooting at the very beginning, and then you hear all these whoops and stuff. It's a little bit harder to hear, and that's when they're like, "I've never heard that before," because I don't know what the heck I'm actually doing out there, or I do know what it is, and I just So we're gonna take another look at some more owl calls and stuff, because that's what it is. It's just all owls, and we're gonna play some actual owl calls that you can listen to. That I will literally prove that that's what this is. Don't crack a smile, guys. Don't crack a smile. Bigfoot yells at us. Well, there you go, guys. That guy's barely holding on, trying not to smile and crack, biting his tongue. A Bigfoot yells at him. That's what they said. That's their own evidence that they are putting out, right? Okay, I will accept that, because I will accept that that's literally what they believe and what they're putting out, what they're supporting, and what they standing behind, and what they're literally showing the content towards everyone, right? And the shorts and everything else. So when people who don't know anything about the subject, never been in the woods before, don't know any animals, that's the first thing they get to, and they think that's a Bigfoot, and they go out and they listen to owl calls, and they think it's Bigfoot. So let's listen to actual owl calls. And this is the more rare hooting, whooping monkey calls that the barred owls will make when they're in a group, or sometimes an individual. The last video we've seen of these guys was the most basic owl call that you could probably hear out there. This one that we're about to hear is a little bit more rare, and when people hear this out there, they assume that it's Bigfoot. Lots of people, lots of different people I've seen who posted hearing Bigfoot. They will post this, not so common owl calls. And they will think that it's Bigfoot. Obvious Bigfoot calls. And notice the avian, how it carries on some of these calls, the avian tone. And a lot of researchers hear this out there. Think it's whooping. Clearly. Oh, there's a Bigfoot. Yeah, clearly. There we go. Right? That Bigfoot, right? That's what they're hearing, right? That's what we just showed. They're hearing owls yell at them and think it's Bigfoot. They're trying not to crack a smile because I think obviously they know that it's not really Bigfoot. Not really getting yelled at. But yet that's what they're confidently going to show you guys and push as content from their channel and as evidence. It's kind of like a laugh. It's just a smack in our faces. The real community, as real researchers, that's what they're literally putting out, and people are eating it up too. That's what it's so hilarious to me. It's like none of the people who are eating it up even question it or even want to seek knowledge of what it actually is and how come it's not actually a Bigfoot and stuff and doesn't remotely sound like a Bigfoot, right? It sounds like an owl. Like, how can anyone listen to this and think that it's a Bigfoot? Yells at them. Bigfoot yells at them.
It's changing octaves.
Like, how can anyone view this and accept this? And yet, people do, and people sub, and people think this is real, and comments are, oh my gosh, fantasy land that makes no freaking sense. And as real researchers are actually went out there and had real encounters and stuff. No, this is a joke what we see from them. And when we actually go out there and we actually are trying to get real evidence, a real encounter actually on camera and stuff, to see them do that, make a mockery of us is ridiculous and stuff. It's kind of ridiculous that people eat that up and will regurgitate that and will vomit on that and gorge on that instead of going to actual researchers, actual channels where there's actual real discussions on things, where you can actually have insight, you can learn about things, you can open your brain and evolve how you're thinking on this. If you're just starting out, there's so many way better channels to go to than and for information and for evidence and for real research and how to conduct yourself and not how to play act in the woods and think everything's a Bigfoot. And that's just the beginning. That's just some of the stuff that, you know, that they're doing with animals. So if they know that that's an owl and stuff and they're presenting as Bigfoot evidence, that's hoaxing, right? Clear-cut hoaxing. If they don't know that's an owl and they actually think that's a Bigfoot, then they don't know what the hell they're doing. And they, you know, but it's blatantly, it's just hoaxing, right? You know, they're acting. They're trying to really not crack a smile. A lot of videos, they get coyote calls. They're interacting, they're calling back with like coyote calls. You know, if these guys were hunters and stuff and, you know, hunted and did all this, you know, they know what they're doing with coyote calls, and like they know that's a coyote. Like that's what the response is. And the one video we showed, another video of interaction they went back and forth with, was a coyote. They have a lot of interaction with owls, like we shown, and there's a lot of different videos that you can see with owls that it's laughable. And as real researchers, as we're trying to describe our interactions or the audio that we hear, that, you know, it's different and it's not like that, you know, we want to be taken seriously, and so the subject deserves more respect and more credence. And, you know, when people are looking at our subject, they see that because that's where everyone is at and looking towards. It's laughable, and no wonder scientists don't want to interact with us, because you have people who don't understand owls, don't understand any of that. But not only that, they do stuff like this. This is their scientific analysis and understanding of physics and what happens in the woods.
This one?
Yep. I didn't hear that one hit.
Yeah, it was.
What the hell?
You called it. I don't know about that. See?
That was weird.
This one?
Yep.
Bigfoot caught it. Right? You guys want to watch that again? Right? Bigfoot caught it. Right? Throws the rock up in the air towards the trees and everything else. And
this one?
Yep. I didn't hear that one hit.
Yeah, it was.
What the hell?
Did Bigfoot catch it?
I don't know about that. See?
That was weird.
This one?
Yep.
Was it? Was it that weird? Was it that spectacular? Was that magical, mystical, wondrous thing that you just did? Is pick up a rock and literally you tossed it up into a tree, and just because, you know, you didn't hear it come down, or you guys didn't want to hear it, you know, automatically it turned into some magic, some type of situation just occurred, right? You know how many, and I'm sure they could take a group of people out there who's never been Bigfooting and do that same thing, take a rock and throw it up in the air. And if it doesn't make enough sound, turn it into a situation, right? Which would then, you know, have Bigfoot on the brain on all the people that they're taken out there with, and all of a sudden there's Bigfoot going on, there's stuff going in now, you know, they play into that, right? They can, now they hear owls off way in the distance doing the whooping and stuff. You know, they can play into that and throw a little bit of that energy towards the people who've never been out in the woods, never been Bigfooting, don't really know what they're doing, or maybe have only done it by themselves and really are looking for this group to like do more stuff, blah, blah, blah. They get influenced, that they get tricked, they get psyched out, they don't know what's going on because it's all fantasy. It was never really reality to start with, so there was nothing going on. And all they've done is walk into a little circle through a rock, right? And they're walking to a circle and they're going to a big circle. And now there's stuff going around. Now there's stuff going on all around them. And, you know, they go, you know, whatever happens, there's stuff going on. And then they go back to camp, and now it followed them back to camp, right? That's pretty much what happens. You know, when we see a lot of normal, I would say normal researchers who are actively in their Bigfoot community who are trying more harder than these guys, and they honestly do believe in the stuff that's going on, but the priming of Bigfoot on the brain type of stuff, they get into these situations of stuff happening, and then all of a sudden it spirals out of control of stuff's going on, and then they follow it back to camp, and then stuff's going on back to camp, and that's how they interact with Bigfoot every single day of the week, or every single weekend, or every single time they go out, or like they can predict it and stuff. So no, I mean these guys are more legit than them. They're not on TV, right? And they actually have some pretty interesting equipment that they've used once, and they haven't gone live out in the field in a long time and stuff. They haven't used a lot of the new equipment at once, and I don't have that one for this episode, but maybe for another time. They make fun. It's just ridiculous. Everything that they do is Bigfoot, 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 Bigfoot. And so we've got some more stuff, some more hoaxing. But before that, we're going to actually take a look at some of their Bigfoot hair evidence. And so there's a Bigfoot hair right there attached to the green piece of plant inside the bag. And basically they're describing of, if we choose to take this and take the DNA and stuff, it's okay. We're gonna touch it a little bit, maybe accept the risk of DNA transfer, but basically he's gonna go and sniff it, right? He's gonna sniff the that Bigfoot hair right there, that wad of dread, or honestly looks like dried up moss, is what I'm actually think it is. Basically dried up moss. I got that in they're in North Carolina, South Carolina. And so honestly, this was actual real evidence of Bigfoot, right? You definitely don't want to touch it, right? Sure, if you put it in a bag, and if it was stinky enough, you could open up the bag and you would smell it, right? You would not need to smell it that closely and stuff. You are definitely contaminating the evidence as to I would be if I had my beard all up in there. So I definitely am not doing that. But you could put it in the bag and open the bag. If it was wafty enough, you would smell it, which that would be pretty pungent and stuff. You'd totally damage the DNA sample right there. But it's just the smile on his face. You'll notice that he cracks his smile, and maybe I should have left the audio and as he's talking. But it's just a complete joke and stuff, Of course, they have nowhere to send it. They're justify touching it. By, maybe right there, maybe if we send it in, that's what he says. Maybe if we send it in, with a big smirk on his face, and then I'm gonna go smell it, and they make the comments that it looks like a piece of dread hair or something. This is, so okay, so a newbie sees these guys. Oh, I get a piece of DNA evidence. Well, I gotta sniff it to make sure. So any actual Bigfoot DNA evidence that someone got and they did that, it's now contaminated. And so anyone who watches these guys thinks that's what you're supposed to do, right? Or, as long as you have more, or potentially, you can send it away. They didn't really care that they did that. Yeah, I actually have looked into some of that, and that a little bit of that might be for next week or some other type of special shows. Yeah, a lot of that is actually deer. Basically, a deer, two deer standing there, and they are surprised when they start seeing the deer on camera, that the eyes are reflecting off of their IR cameras and stuff, because they're shooting with IR night vision. That's how you can see them at nighttime, in the green and all that. And so it shoots out and it reflects off of the deer, and that's all it is, And so, the deer look at them with all these lights and stuff, and like, whoa, what's going on here? Because when you have a big flashlight in front of you, it's blocking you out. So the deer doesn't really see you. The deer sees the light, and deer and most animals are used to like white lights and stuff. But if you have red lights, you have green lights, that makes deer and hogs and other animals react a little bit differently. Predator hunting lights and stuff like that. These lights that can conceal you a little bit and you still have a good field of direction, but does block you out. It doesn't startle the animal as much, doesn't cast as much shadow when you're moving them around and stuff. So the deer doesn't really see that there's a bunch of humans out there. It sees that there's a bunch of lights out there, and until they get close enough to startle the deer are just doing their own thing, looking up, and then they'll look back down, then they'll move off. And these guys are now acting on the new character that just came into the scene, and now they have to act based off the new character that is in the situation. Now they make a new situation off that, and then it's just a ringer. It's just a circus. It's just that's what it is. That's what they're doing. It is a circus. And when a new actor character comes into play, then they act off that. And you can see that in their live videos and stuff, and you can see that in the older stuff. And we'll show some hoaxing right now from them, and some other little stuff. Well, so let's take a look at this from their own words and of some evidence that they found.
Footprint. Come here and look.
Don't crack a smile. And then you barely get a shot of anything, so I had to keep replaying it and try to figure out what the heck are they actually trying to show us. And is it a hoax? Did they have some sort of print making device that they put down? And because I've looked at some of their old snow print videos and stuff, and I'm pretty sure it's deer prints that they came out after it melted a little bit. And some of these bigger tracks are definitely, they came on scene after there's been a day or two of melt, and then they're trying to look for Bigfoot tracks and are discovering Bigfoot tracks. And some of them do look like they might have planted them. I have to look at this video and do some more analysis, but there's some trickery and stuff. These guys are acting. I mean, come on, look at this guy. Look into his eyes. Look at his face. Then a person who's taking this seriously. This isn't a person who just found real evidence of Bigfoot. I don't act like that. I get excited and stuff. I get zoomed in onto the evidence, focused on that. That becomes important, and not making
Footprint.
Not lying like that.
Footprint.
Like that's
Come here and
a
look.
lie. Yes, let's come in and look. The camera guy don't even show the damn print. Like it's not even important, right? Definitely not important enough to be shown on that short, right? Not the evidence itself, right? Because you're making shorts, right? So that's a minute-long content that they take out of their videos. So the most important content for that 1 minute video was to see that guy's reaction, right? And not show the evidence. And you can't see the evidence in the shorts, right? How easy would it to be make a 1 minute video of just point the camera down, look at the print more, make a 1 minute short of that, of real evidence. Like that's what I would rather see, right? Instead, that's never shown. That's not shown. That's in the longer clips that I would have to go through and look through and dig up to analyze and figure out, how many tracks there are, what does it actually look like. But instead, we get that bull crap, that fakery where they're trying not to smile. And people are eating that up. People think it's real, and some kids and people who, this community is filled with a lot of different types of people, and there's some people who are very lonely in this community, who are not very socially acute at people who would take advantage of them, and they're not socially acute on like deception and stuff and lying and sarcasm and stuff. And so when they see these guys, they're believing them, wholeheartedly, honestly, supporting these guys, and they probably will defend these guys and pay money to these guys when they ask for money, right? And that is really bad and stuff, taking advantage of people who don't know any better, or who don't even want to know any better because they're so invested into the character types, these actors, how they are, these experts who go out in the field, who know what they're doing, they act like real researchers, they act like they are hunters, have experience, the woodsmanship and stuff, but they don't even know owl sounds. And so we're going to take a look at more hoaxing from them. We're going to leave the we got a couple more videos from them of we got some Bigfoot videos, some AI videos, some other photograph videos after we stopped roasting these guys. And then we have, we got one more from them, two more from them, three more from them. I'm not sure if I played this one already, so wait, I don't want to play that one yet. Okay, so that one might be... All right, so let's play this one right here. And this one is a UFO encounter that they have and that they filmed live. Now, I've actually filmed a UFO, and it's actually on the channel. You guys can watch it. It's a UFO flies over Michigan with a plane or something like that. It's on the channel. You just scroll back and stuff. You'll watch a blinking plane come by. You'll see a non-blinking flying object, UFO, in frame and stuff as it goes by and stuff. These guys film a UFO, and I want you guys to listen to what you guys can hear, because they are ecstatic and stuff, of course. But let's play this video and keep talking after we watch this, because this is pretty good.
What the hell is that?
We might have a UFO sign.
So it's right there, right in front of them.
It's in a triangle.
You guys can even hear it. You guys can hear it.
We might just have our first UFO sighting. What the hell is that?
Look at it. It's a flying donut. And so that's what they're saying, it's a triangle looking device. It has 3 lights, and you can distinctly hear the jet engines roaring through the night as it flies in the skies above, like every normal jet airplane, right? Jet plane that does that. And see, so this is a character, an object that flew into place that they can now act on, get all excited upon, and now literally that's a UFO, even though it literally has normal lights, blinking lights. You hear the jet engine roaring. Every UFO I've ever seen in my entire life, silent. Never heard them. Never, and especially never no jet engine roaring like a normal jet that you see every day flying above. The UFO that I filmed didn't hear nothing. And that's when it's so laughable. It's like, come on, how can you even guys put this out? Like, this is Rick Dyer stuff, This is like they don't care, It's all about money and stuff, pushing, and it sells. It worked. Hey, congratulations, they worked, right? Now they're raking in hundreds of dollars per video, thousands of dollars over the course, tens of thousands of dollars over the course of a year. And of course of next 5 years, as long as they keep going and doing what they're doing strong, they probably all of them probably could earn $50,000 and stuff, because it's all you got to do. It don't matter. The truth don't matter. YouTube don't care about that. They're gonna push people towards that because that's definitely what's selling. So when Bigfoot comes up, right, they get pushed towards these channels that actually have the views that actually are selling because the algorithm says that's what sells. That's what people are watching. So more people are likely to get hooked onto that, to watch that, and to vomit and gurgitate and feast and do all that zombie-ish on that because that's what sells. That's what the computer says. And so they get put us to all these story narration channels, and we'll get into that with Chat GTP as we can make our own Bigfoot story here online. And we're going to actually use it to ask it some other insightful questions and inquiries. But you can basically make up your own Bigfoot stories on the fly. It takes less than a minute. And so, and you get pushed to, How the Hunt guy, which just reads emails, which, anyone can send them an email, or you could just type up your own emails, type up your own stories. You get sent to some of these other Sasquatch Watchers and stuff like that. It's just fake. It's fantasy. It's not real. And so all the real researchers or all the real discussions, which are being made on some of these shows and these channels, are not being found, or not being watched, not being pushed by YouTube. And so, like, how can our community really grow the right way and evolve insightfully and scientifically, or just leveling up to be better if literally all the people who are flooding in to learn about Bigfoot, who want to, type in about Bigfoot researchers on YouTube, get pushed to the most extreme ends of the spectrum instead of the most grounded, rounded, boots on the ground, insightful discussions. I mean, there's a lot of good content that is in this middle that is, I'm not getting 30,000 views per video. That's what they're getting on average. You look at the How to Hunt guy, all he does is he just reads emails, or he just reads stories, and he's 70,000, 100,000, blah, 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 blah. There's no learning that comes from that. There's storytelling. And, you could say that only 10% of the stories that he's ever told are legit, 100% factual, real, that come from real people that actually had an encounter, that are actually genuine and stuff, compared to all the other junk. It's not very insightful. It's not useful. It's not beneficial, really. It's fantasy. It's creating more fantasy and false narratives. And, if we're going to have a new, it's already been, 50 years of Bigfoot not discovered, if we're going to be doing another 50 years, the way to do it would be push all the people towards all these outposts that don't go anywhere, that are junk, trash heaps, that are as fantasy land. It's going to take a lot of these, say a real researcher, say real people who are just starting out, who really want to learn and do it the right way, and they go right to them. It's going to take a while before they smell the smoke that's being blown up them, right? Before they get a sense like, this place is a lot of, stinks like shit, feels like shit, smells like shit, sounds like it, and it's all on them, and they finally, and they get it. Will they leave and then go and do other stuff and finally not get hooked on the entertainment, the narrative, the storytelling, the actors, the characters, the people, the adventure, right? The mystery of it, whatever it is, that's not important. The important thing is the reality of trying to go out there, what's actually happening out there, documenting what's actually happening out there when you're having real Bigfoot stuff, not Bigfoot on the brain, trying to get that evidence as best you can and then show it as best you can so we can learn and discuss things and grow and figure out how the hell can we get Bigfoot on camera like the Patterson film. That's all we need to do. We don't need to do anything better. We just need to do what has already been done. The most basic phone that you can get all we need to do it, and automatically it's better. Automatically, these settings and stuff on every single phone, it's going to be better than Patterson footage shot. So theoretically, therefore, it will be the best footage ever. It will be the best piece of evidence better. Automatically, you don't need to have $1,000 piece of equipment because there is no better piece of evidence. We're not trying to jump. That's it. It's basic. Like any bimbo can just pull out their phone and film, and it's going to be better if they can do what Patterson did. That's it.
I found this on the web.
Give me 1 second. All right, so let's jump into these other videos because they don't know the difference between an airplane, a jet airliner, and a UFO. They don't know the difference between owls. They don't know the difference between coyotes and a Bigfoot and all this shape-shifting deer between Photoshop. Let's figure out some other stuff that they just don't know. They don't understand. So let's take a look at this one. Okay.
It was like this big.
Here, can I turn my light on? See if there's
Yeah.
Well, I ain't gonna do nothing with your light.
Well, let's get a bigger light. Then.
No, I swear to God, it was a
I
rock.
heard it. Like, I heard it ding. I mean, obviously.
I didn't hear nothing.
I thought it hit. Like,
What was
No,
that?
that was my
Close your
eye.
eye.
Like it hit right there.
Close your eye. Which one? Close the eyes, not hit.
The one that's not hit.
Open the
Oh,
one
you
you got
got-
hit with. How many fingers?
Blurry.
blind.
God almighty.
Yeah, your eyes all watery and red.
We got a natural.
Which way
All
to come from
watery
your
and
right?
red.
Come from like
That's where you were seeing the spots.
it was like
All right, so you heard it from herself. She woman attacked by a Bigfoot. She got a rock thrown at her eyeball. And they're out on location. There's live stuff. They all believe her. She's presenting this as fact. She's let me look at your eye. Yeah, your eye kind of looks a little red. Yeah. Bigfoot just threw a rock at you. Yeah, it looks a little watery. It looks a little red. If I threw a rock at you and hit you in the eyeball, not even trying to hurt you at all, just trying to accurately hit you in the eyeball, not hurt you, but just trying to make sure I actually got it, because I got to hit you in the eyeball. I'm pretty sure I would hurt you, right? That would hurt, right? Now a Bigfoot is gonna underhand toss a rock and hit you in the eyeball, and you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine. Eyes a little watery, a little red. Come on, guys. Come on. This is where we're at. Come on. This is like, and they accept it. So either they're all on board, and they all know it, right? Or what actually does happen on research outings, and why I don't really invite random people and stuff, people I don't know, because you can have one person in the group and everyone else is honest integrity's in check. They're out there for the right reasons. They want to find evidence. You could have one person like that who all of a sudden fake wants, will fake something. Like, oh, I heard something over here. Or, something got thrown at me. I get hit. And I'm hurt. Oh my God. Now everyone, come check me. And, you know, you can have situations where one person is hoaxing like that and influencing the whole group and trying to put Bigfoot on the brain. Now trying to divert. Now they are directing the investigation around them. They're the star. Stuff happened around them. Now let's go. Come on, guys. Let's go investigate Bigfoot here. When there's no Bigfoot stuff happening, it's fake. It's fantasy land. Oh, you guys are a mile away. Oh, there's stuff happening back at camp. Come back at camp. Come help. And you come back to camp. And there's nothing going on because there is nothing going on. And now you're in fantasy land, going in circles because there's Bigfoot all around you now, right? And that does happen. I think that happens a lot. I think that in the Bigfoot community, when people get together and stuff, researchers or people who are, not researchers and stuff, that sometimes people don't have the integrity and will fake stuff. And now there's Bigfoot over here. When they take people out and stuff, it's very easy to influence, especially if you know everything around the area, and you can manipulate their mindset based on what you hear, because they're trusting you, you have one person, oh, I'm being mind spoke to. I'm feeling stuff. I'm having a vision. I'm remote viewing stuff now. And I see there's a Bigfoot over here. He's about 100 yards this way. His name's Greg. He wants to interact with us, but, he's scared. He has a family. They're about 1,000 yards away over the creek. And, they're just not sure about us. That's manipulation. That is hoaxing. And I think that is actually taking place a lot more than, what we see from the Sasquatch Watchers and stuff, because the people who actually are doing this are in our groups. They are in our community. They are some of our researchers. Some of them are on the researchers team, not necessarily researchers, but people that go out. Sometimes they're family members who, it doesn't matter. They just on the spot, making up something. They want attention. That's why you need to vet people out. I don't invite people to go out with me because I don't want people to be out there who are going to make up stuff, and now I have to divert my attention. And especially only to find out, I think you're pulling my leg, and now I can't trust anything that you're really presenting to me. And it's like you hear stuff over here. It's like, well, are you and stuff, because you're unreliable, and that becomes a mess. But that is more common than what in our own communities and what our own groups are close by, that you need to vet out. So when you have people who will pay you $1,000 to take you, someone will pay me $1,000 to take them out. They can still do all this stuff. Even though they're paying me to take them out, they could start having Bigfoot happening here, and it's all a game. It doesn't matter, and there are more people who do that than anything else. Any other type of hoaxing, it's acting on the fly, it's imagining stuff, because the people around them, are more inclined to believe them. And it's, they don't consider it hoaxing. It's, fibbing and stuff. They justify it. And I think that some of these groups out there with, you got the remote viewing and all the psychic stuff going on, and you can have whatever you want because you're making up the game as you go along. And I haven't seen all of these Sasquatch Watcher videos of what all they've done live and some of the longer stuff, but I definitely will get into it. But the problem is, even if they have good stuff, even if they had like one legit amazing stuff that I would say, holy crap, this is an amazing piece of evidence, it's like they've already cried wolf dozens of times before the wolves already came into pasture and is about to attack them, right? They've already cried wolf so many times that at this point, it doesn't really matter. And that's unfortunate because if they had real evidence, it's fake, because how can, even if it's real, it's like, well, it's coming from them, and all they have ever done is fake stuff, and it's almost dismissible. It's almost like, yeah, it's real, but it's from them, so it doesn't really count. It's not good enough. Even if it was good enough, it's like, man, it's not reliable, not integrity. It's not something that as a community we would want to stand behind, right? You stand behind those guys, right? So not something we need in our community, where we have these influencers, because if they find something good, it's like, we are all going to be, having headaches, and it's not a good time. So we have one more hoaxing piece of evidence from them, because we already shown that they act, they play. There's people that they go out with, they get Bigfoot throwing rocks at, smacking them in the eyeball, right? But it's only red and watering, right? Like if a Bigfoot throwing a rock at you, you're pretty much concussed. I'm sure you're going to be practically dead. You're going to want to go to the hospital. Like any kind of head trauma from a Bigfoot, you want to go to the hospital immediately. I don't care if it didn't even really feel like it hurt you. Like, you should probably go. And for documentation purposes, right? If she got smacked in the head by a rock from a Bigfoot, go to the hospital, get some x-rays, get some documentation, right? Get some stitches by a professional, right? To show us, right? No, it's a little watery, a little pussy. It'll go away. It's fine. And hey, Iron Dogger, how's it going? Find this video. They don't know UFOs from jetliner aircraft and stuff. Like, it's getting better and better and better. And maybe they started off as genuine Bigfoot guys. Maybe they had some interesting stuff that happened, but as of late, it's like the stuff that they back, the stuff that they are blowing their minds that they're putting out is so subpar. It's below subpar. It is so backwards and ridiculous. But let's look at some other stuff that they're supporting, and let's take a deeper look into it.
So this would be a good place to look for stuff too.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, what do you think? A Bigfoot on camera trying to distract us. What do you guys think? I mean, you heard it, right? You heard it. You seen it. You're watching it. You're watching the video as it goes, right? You see everything how it is, right? You guys notice anything? Do you guys notice anything at all? Do you notice a couple things? You notice his body language right there. You notice how they're acting. A Bigfoot just threw a rock, right? We're just watching the video now. Bigfoot just threw a rock. Bigfoot just picked up a rock, threw it, tried to distract him, right? You see the rock falling right there, right? See it landing. Look at that guy. That's zoomed in. I zoomed in at the very end because I'm trying to show something that I'm sure hopefully some of you guys picked out already and seen, right? I'm sure you guys notice, right? Let's play it again. Let's play watch. Just watch and listen. It's and this is what they do. This is some of the stuff that they like to do. So, Bigfoot tries to distract them. All right, well, let's watch and listen. Oh, did you see that? I'm pretty sure I seen the rock flying in the air, honestly. See his body language. He checks, he cares. No, he don't give a shit. Now let's just keep walking. Because if a Bigfoot just throwing something at you, let's just keep walking right now. Instead of, holy shit, Bigfoot just throwing something at me, right? You guys notice that he just nonchalantly picks up the rock, throws the rock. You see the rock flying in the air. Like, here, you'll see the rock flying in the air, right? Right here. Look. Oh, what's he jerk like this for? He's bending over and what's that? Oh, you see the rock? Wait a minute. What? You telling me that this dude on camera, picks up a rock and on camera throws the rock? Because you see the camera and then you see it sailing, hit the hill, it rolls down the hill. He's filming it. And then him, I assume that person, he's the person filming it. I can only assume the person filming it is put this together and put it out there. They're a group of 4 or 5, right? Whatever. Is now claiming and backing a Bigfoot distracted them. This is amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. This is something that they've done before, right? Pick up a rock on camera and throw it. And claim it's a Bigfoot. This dude is the dude filming it. I don't know if it's the same guy. It will be hilarious if it is. Picks up a rock on camera. Throws it. You see it jerk the camera. You see the rock fly over to the hill. And he looks over to them like, oh, yeah. Now you guys don't want to act? Yeah, you guys don't feel like acting on that one? Oh, okay, well, let's keep going. That is deliberate hoaxing on camera that they put together. This is from a short. So not even that they put it together on a long piece of thing that's in the middle of an adventure that you have to watch an hour for. Let's say you have to watch 45 minutes to get to it, to view 10 seconds worth, right? And then there's another hour, so it's buried somewhere. So we don't see. This is literally someone took this out, made a short, deliberately put this together to put it on to be viewed way more, because shorts get way more views and blah 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 blah. And they literally took everything, like, oh yeah, I'm not even gonna cut out the part where like I pick the rock up. I'm not gonna cut the part out where I shake the camera violently as I'm throwing the rock. I'm not gonna cut it all out. I can't, right? I can't just show the rock falling down, right? I gotta, right? And you put it out there and you're just like, yeah, no one's gonna know. Who's gonna know, right? No one's gonna know. They'll never know, right? And most people watching that literally you see the rock, he's watching it. I didn't do anything special. I didn't like edit. I didn't add CGI AI stuff to it, like. And he puts it out there, and like that's acceptable. Like, so like maybe I don't know. They don't know what they're doing. Some of them don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to edit their own hoaxes out. They expose themselves purposely. I don't know. Is it on purpose? Is it sarcasm? Like, are they just like laughing because they put something out like that? Like, I'm literally going to show that I'm throwing a rock on fucking camera, and all these people are going to think it's Bigfoot, and like they're laughing at everyone who thinks and believes it's Bigfoot. Or like, are they just literally don't care and put it out there, or like they believe like they won't get caught? Because if it's like a Rick Dyer type of thing and not giving a shit, I could definitely see, and it's like, because there's no like rhyme or reason why a normal person would, a hoaxer, you're not trying to get caught, would ever make a whole freaking video of you literally putting the rock. You throwing a rock. But they've already done this. So let's watch it again right here.
So this would be a good
Here,
place to look.
bends over, picks up the rock, and then he throws it, and then you see the rock flying in the air, and you watch it as it falls down. And he looks at his buddies. He looked at his buddies, and his buddies looking at him like, you just fucking picked up a rock and threw it. What do you want us to do? And he puts, did a Bigfoot try to distract us? And that's what we're dealing with. This is the type of hoaxery, the type of rogue researchers, I would say, that these are just complete denial, complete oblivious in their attempts to hoax and their attempts to research. Is this just total Rick Dyer? They don't give a shit. Like, this is just hilarious. Is it total acting and they're just having fun and everything is potential Bigfoot stuff based on how much they all get excited and start acting and playing off of each other, right? Even if they don't play off each other, they can still make a video and say a Bigfoot tried to distract us by picking up a rock and throwing it. So that is what we're dealing with when it comes to the Sasquatch Watchers. They might have some older stuff that I need to look at, but the stuff that I have seen and the stuff that everyone else really sees before any of the good stuff is all this trash that they've been pushing and pushed out. Like, it's nothing but trash. So yeah, it's trash. And it's I think it's hilarious. I don't find it hilarious though when it comes to people being influenced by it. I find it hilarious that these guys are out there doing this and this is what they think, but it's very much detriment to our community because influence, younger generations see this, people who don't know any better, older people who have encounters, who are in their area, like the North Carolina, South Carolina, or wherever, they get pushed towards these guys on the algorithms and stuff. They go donate to these guys, start funding these guys, and these guys start having thermals and stuff. They start getting all these equipment. They haven't been live in like 5 months. I can recheck, but they haven't been live in a while since they've got some. I thought they got some good, interesting stuff. They're supposedly getting all this money and stuff. But when you have like really good equipment, like a good thermal that can see through all the trees and see what that deer that you used to be able to say, oh, there's eye shine. Now there's a thermal and just shows a deer. Well, you can't fake Bigfoot stuff no more, right? Unless you have a costume and stuff like that. Because now you're just going to show real evidence of animals being around you. You can't really fake and act on that when the thermals start showing that it's a deer instead of the night vision showing eye shine over there. Oh my God, Bigfoot eye shine, Bigfoot eye shine. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Well, now you throw a thermal on it. Well, it's just a deer. Well, you can't play as much now. So you generally don't see a lot of people who like fake stuff and act stuff or go out and research and fake a lot of research when they get thermals, really good stuff. You don't really see the evidence. So, you get a lot of people have all this good equipment, but now they, where's the evidence come from, right? Where's the thermal evidence? Of even just deer and stuff. Like, you could have all just people making videos of just finding everyday animals in North America on thermal, and people would watch it and people would eat it up. But yet, some of these people don't even seem to be going out there with those donation money. So, they that is the Sasquatch Watchers, that's what they support, that's what they do, that's how they act, that's how what they're knowledgeable in, and all these animal sounds, and yeah, so that's what you can expect when you follow the Sasquatch Watchers. And just because they had a few good things doesn't mean that all around they're good researchers and people who should be supported, because if they have one good thing and then the rest is 99% trash, what are they made out of? The 99%. All right, so we got some other videos and clips that are being pushed by them too, that we can see here, that they're claiming, is Bigfoot? Is it a Yeti? Is it a snowman? Is it a swamp monster from Panama? Because they don't know. They don't know anything. They see videos get sent to them. They make up videos or whatever, and they everything's Bigfoot. So here's another video posted by them that they're claiming is Bigfoot, and it has a very nice gait of a humanoid. You can even see looks like it turns its head and its neck before it turns the body right there a little bit. So this is some basic stuff that they keep pushing. So here, a very interesting piece of clip right there. So the only sound we have is at the very beginning of the clip, because that was the whole clip. And it's broken up, and it's not even, Bigfoot smashes the tent. It's on camera. It must be real, right? Everything's so perfect. Picture perfect. You see it on camera, you see it hitting, then it goes off camera, then, that's it. Oh, yeah, see it, somehow it jumped from there to there. Well, it was just the trail camera, shut off right there, the 10-second delay. And then now, it just comes over, smacks the tent on camera. For the camera. In the middle of the camera. I would say influencers, there's some Bigfoot. I would say there's different types, different varieties. I say a YouTube channel who presents themselves as a Bigfoot researcher, who has 100,000 subscribers, and their videos get 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 video views every couple videos. I would say is an influencer. That's because it's not really us in our communities. How many views do all of our channels get on average and stuff, and then how many views and stuff are all they getting and stuff. Those can't be. They're certainly not all the people in the community talking about the community, interacting in the community. But when you have How to Hunt guy who is like, you look on any random video that he has, that's influence. Sasquatch Watchers in particular, who we're talking about, have 100-something thousand, and they're getting 30,000, 50,000, 75, 100,000 views per video, and they can't tell the difference between. I mean, you weren't here earlier, Iron Dogger, but I don't know if you've ever seen this clip from them.
It's changing octaves.
Changing octaves. I mean, an owl. So when you're getting 100,000 views per video, and you present that as Bigfoot, and out of 100,000 people who see that and stuff, you're gonna influence some people. You're gonna influence some people into this delusion of fantasy. That's influence. Those are influencers, whether we want to accept it or not. They might not be influencing some of the people we want to. We consider are influencing our community, but they are certainly influencing other people trying to get into our community who are never been introduced, and that's their first introduction to Bigfoot researchers, right? And you have all these people laughing at these guys because, oh my God, that's an owl, and they're laughing. Oh, of course, that's every Bigfoot researcher out there. And, creates that stigma that we face and being laughed at. And of course, and then you have the person sitting next to him who had a Bigfoot encounter who now is definitely not going to say anything to his friend. Well, I don't want to say anything because he obviously thinks Bigfoot's fake and not real, and I don't feel comfortable about saying it. And yeah, most of these, and then he's like, well, I don't feel comfortable because look, I mean, yeah, a lot of these Bigfoot researchers, I mean, it seems like they don't know what they're doing, even though I've honestly seen Bigfoot because I mean, who do I tell? I can't tell him. He's gonna make fun of me. These guys are a joke, and who do I reach out to? I don't know. Because we're not being seen. These guys are being seen. They're having influence. The algorithm is pushing them. It's not good for our system of trying to, get the people who have encounters out and get in touch with our community and people who can help relieve some of that stress off their chest, get the evidence and the anecdotal storytelling evidence off and actually into people's out in the public and stuff, so people know about the story and people know about the encounter and that witness, and like Jay Fritz and stuff when he came out and had a lot of help in the discussion and replaying the traumas and stuff like that. If Jay would have came across other people like the Sasquatch Watchers or some other ridiculous number of people who believe in Fantasyland and who knows, you don't feel comfortable coming out. You don't feel like you would want to come out to these people who, think an owl is a Bigfoot yelling at them to get off their land. So it creates this very big delusion. It's just all around getting thrown into a trash heap and then grinded up and spit back out, and who knows what it's going to come out and what it's going to look at, because it's all just fantasy bullshit. And so we have to be careful, and we need to try to figure out to get people away from those kind of influences and more into grounded realism and honest discussions about the real research and how it's conducted. And people have different opinions than me and how research is done and this and that and their findings and theories on Bigfoot and what Bigfoot do. There's a whole, it's colors of the rainbow. You divide that spectrum by thousands and tens of thousands of measurements, that's everyone's different opinions and stuff. So there's more than enough difference and stuff, but we don't need this fake reality Fantasyland storytelling where I'll take you out in the woods and I'll spin you in circles around the woods and have you thinking everything's Bigfoot. It's not a problem, but there's no integrity to that. I don't get anything out of that. I would get if we took people out and had real stuff happening and they're about shitting their pants, and I'm trying to not have them shit their pants because I'm trying not shit my pants and have this awesome encounter. Like, that is so much more awesome and amazing than taking out people out and tricking them and conning them and faking stuff. And, it takes some weird individuals to do that. It takes some weird people who would like that and do that and think that's fun and think that's interesting and that's adventurous and fulfilling and stuff. It's very weird. I find it very weird and stuff. So, and it's kind of like prey and predator mentality. There are people in this community who get money and grift. Brent's talked about it. Vault Kipu, who are, prey on people who are desperate and lonely and stuff like that, and who can influence people who are not strong-willed, not strong-minded and stuff. And it doesn't even have to be physical or stealing money from people. It can be simply as making you believe in their stories and into the character and into their lies and stuff. because you're desperate, you're kind of lonely. There's people in this community they want friends. They haven't had the best life and stuff. There's a variety of people, variety of lives that has had experiences. So sometimes some people are more influenced by these warm, welcoming storyteller characters that they want to believe, and it's very hard for them to detach from the fantasy, because that's what they've built up this friendship up, and they've kind of built themselves up too, attaching themselves as being important, being someone who's talking to about Bigfoot stuff, having friends in the Bigfoot. You feel important, so you hoax stuff, and now you can get into that. And there's been people who came out and said they've only hoaxed stuff because they wanted to feel important and the spotlight be on them and sort of thing. All right, so we're going to take a look at another individual. And this one is right there. You see it right there in that red circle. It doesn't move at all. So this one is a little bit different kind of channel. I think it's like Dee's Adventures or something. And basically, this woman's out there in the middle of the woods, and she has a lot of different videos of stuff jumping out or stuff following her or stuff like that. Again, the problem with her is she might actually have some interesting videos of stuff, but then there's a lot of trash like this one, which is you have a silhouette of some sapling trees right there. You see it right there, standing up. It's right there. That there's look, I mean, there's the fucking light shines right there. Like, there's no Bigfoot right there. It is a clump of saplings, and you're seeing the darkness in the middle of it. And now you're giving it shape. You're giving it face. You're giving it whatever she sees. And as we look at it, it's just there's a tree. I mean, her light literally goes on, and there's nothing there. And so you have a lot of her videos are this fake bullshit stuff. She might have one or two videos that are interesting. Maybe there's a person in a costume in the wood line, but it's not some twigs that are sticking up with some shadows. And that's how easy it is. You just pan the camera. Oh, and as the light moves off of the plant life and the shadows come in, and your camera is adjusting to the darkness and all the noise, and pixelation starts happening. Oh my God, there's a Bigfoot. They just walked into place, or there's movement and stuff because you can't see in a camera because all the pixels are going like this because of the light is adjusting to the darkness. And don't you see it? And if I take that video and if I crop it, take the resolution from higher up and downgrade it and stuff, well, now it gets even more grainy, and now it looks like there's stuff there. And I can influence people by drawing faces and stuff. And and this one particular has actually been penciled in, so that's why it looks like it's been drawn or traced. It's actually been traced over with a pencil or a pen. And supposedly this is a picture that was taken back in the 80s. And here we can see similarity to Colorado Bigfoot, where you have foliage super zoomed in, cropped, where there's faces and noses and stuff that you can glean out of the pattern and stuff. Because if you zoom in on foliage and look close enough, you'll start seeing holes, and two holes up here, and there's a hole here. Well, it looks like a mouth and stuff like that. So the first one, a person actually said that they took a camera back in the 80s, took the photograph, and then they digitized it, and then they drew over it with a pencil for one of their friends to see it better. And then that is this picture that they're showing is the penciled in over top the digitized version of the 1980s game camera. data that they had. It's a very strenuous, long process to do all that, have all that, and I'm not quite sure what kind of game cameras they even had in the 80s. Let's just say 1989, because give it the very last year. I'm not quite sure what kind of game camera technology, but I don't think it's up to par like that. And so we can see that, you take pictures of foliage, you can draw pictures, start drawing stuff, and all of a sudden you have a face. That's what Colorado Bigfoot does, and that's kind of showing the similarities. Easy enough to do. It's not hard to do. And here's another example. So right here, we have a picture of a Bigfoot. Can't you see it? Can't you see it? It's right there. Clear as day, right? Clear as day. It's in the foliage. It's in the brush, the debris. You see how it's massive shoulders. It's round head. It's, it's. Let's take a closer look. Let's look at it. Here we go. And so this is someone's picture. They're claiming is a Bigfoot, and they're clearly showing you. And this is their cropped picture and stuff. I didn't zoom in on it or anything like that. And this is what they see. And this is stuff that people. I don't remember this person. This is some random person who made this post to me who honestly believes this. He's not. I think he's delusional. I think that he doesn't know what he's doing. This particular person is out there and takes the picture, takes the camera, looks at the video, looks at the evidence, and says that's a Bigfoot. That's a Bigfoot. That is what, 4 inches off the ground, right? You look at that tree. Well, it don't look like a redwood, right? He's not in California. That's definitely not a redwood because that tree. Come on. This is the measurements. You take a measurement. That tree, that thing is only a couple inches tall. You're telling me that's Bigfoot? And so people present this as evidence and think it's real because they looking at it through the picture, through the video, and they see it. And so these are the people who are living in fantasy land. They don't believe that they're not hoaxing because they don't believe that they're not hoaxing. Some of these people don't know that that's not a Bigfoot. Some people do know. And they are putting out there and they are hoaxing. But they wouldn't consider themselves hoaxers. There's some people put that stuff out there who honestly believe it. They're not hoaxing in that sort of way, but they are putting forth delusional stuff that is fantasy, that is not real, that is, and then, oh my God, I see the eyes. You zoom in and stuff, and you can see stuff that is not there. And so now you influence people. They start a group. They go to this area. And all of a sudden they get more stuff. Instead of if they were just, new, like common sense stuff, but if they were taught like, hey, this is why this is not a Bigfoot. Look at the measurements, like, and actually trained and wanted to get to this next level and then have a group out there and go out there and look for Bigfoot the right way. Like, that's what we need. We don't need all these people taking pictures of the ground and there's a little Bigfoot in the twigs, and we need this person up way up here, not at the level that they're at. There's so many people that are doing that, but we need them way up here. And there are a bunch of people who are doing that and are faking it. Oh, I'm remote viewing, and they playing into this stuff for money. They're playing into this stuff. And there are people who they don't know any better. And they watch the Sasquatch Watchers. They hear owls, and then they go out there, they hear owls, and they think it's Bigfoot. And they'll take a photograph of the fucking ground right there, of the tree, It's a foot wide tree, a normal size oak tree, and all the stick debris at the bottom of the base of the tree, and then say it's Bigfoot, and then believe it's Bigfoot, and honestly devote their time and effort and research and equipment to go to that spot and go try to, be around it, Fantasyland. Like, and then they're going to go influencing others who are on that same level, who want to believe, who are in the area. They don't have no one else to go research with besides this guy. And so they're going to jump on the boat. Now all of a sudden, well, I don't really believe what this guy says, but he's my friend. I don't got anyone else to go on. So I kind of just, let him do his own thing. And, instead of like, that's bullshit. We need to get above to the more scientific level of understanding, like, hey, this ain't Bigfoot. That's not an owl. It's not a coyote. Like, we're looking for some extraordinary piece of evidence, extraordinary stuff, not common stuff, not, come on, guys. And so that's kind of what this particular show was about and stuff, because it's a lot of it. We're facing a lot of different types of people who are not only faking it on the Squatchers levels, on Rick Dyer levels, but are dishonest to themselves, don't want to grow, don't want to learn, don't even want to try. And then they honestly believe that dude believes it. That dude believes what he's posting. He believes it. You take however long to write 3 full paragraphs explaining this stuff, like, you believe it. It takes a while to type it out. It takes a while to edit and check and, make sure you put it together, right? Someone put some effort to that. So, all right, so let's look at some AI video, and then we have one more video clip, and then I'll put the live chat in. We'll talk about some AI storytelling and talk with some AI on stream. So here we go. Best photographed picture of Bigfoot right there, as you guys can see, right? As real as it gets. I mean, it can't get any real. There's a baby. There's a baby right there. Look how real that baby is. Look how real that Bigfoot looks. And the baby definitely looks a lot more real than the Bigfoot. I think most people would tell, like, this is fake. There's a small population of people in our community who will look at this and at first glance, second glance, and third glance think that is real. That's a real photograph. Same thing with this, because it's downgraded resolution, right? It's a little bit more grainy, right? Oh, this could be like older footage, right? This could be, off a cell phone that's from like 2005. And this is the same thing. It's just fake AI imagery. And you could place this crappy image in the back of a video, in the back of some bushes in the background and stuff, and have it move a little bit, and oh my God, it's Bigfoot. And we see that with Colorado, where he got caught with the Squatch Links beef jerky. Bigfoot, the actual image, they just made it transparent a little bit and had him in the bushes. And very, very whimsical, very, very lazy approach to hoaxing and stuff. But that's what is being done on a lot of these videos with Colorado Bigfoot. All right, so let's show this last video. I'll read some comments and then get started. All right, so here, you guys can see it right there is a flying fairy. A flying fairy right there dancing around the fire. And, I'm trying not to laugh because this is another very common, like, this is the most basic type of thing, a lens flare, right? A lens reflection of the fire, right? You can literally see it's just the fire. It's literally the fire dancing, right? It's being bounced off of the camera, which you can then manipulate and move around, kind of like what we did in like grade school. Like when you have something shiny and you direct it off here, and then you can, guide it like this, guide it to wherever you want, right? And make it fly up and do this and stuff. And then some people think, oh my God, that's a fairy, that's a UFO, that's an orb, that's a ghost, that's whatever, a cloaking Bigfoot. and it's simple, the most basic things that you would learn about: lens flares, light manipulation of the lens, of how they looks, how it looks, how it moves, what it normally does. Most basic things you would pretty much look for when you're researching, I mean, and how to do camera work, really. And yet people will, and the person on the camera, I didn't play the sound, but the person on the camera, knows, is doing the manipulation to make it move up and over, and then putting it forth as, oh, there's a dancing fairy and this is some, and then that influences a small percentage of people who blindly believe and accept that that's reality, and then go and then spread that, and then are influenced by that, and now they have fairy on the brain, and now the most subtle basic light trick will influence them to, now it's something else, something magical. And it's we're humans, we're a thinking animal. Like, we should use our brain to think about what's going on and what we're seeing, not oh my god, that's a flying fairy, and take it as face value, and not think at all. It's not even not thinking, it's like refusing to think. It's like building a fucking wall and not budging, refusing to think. No, I'm not even going to do that. Oh wow, fairy. Wow, Bigfoot calls. Owls yelling at me. Bigfoot, awesome. It's not even turning the brain on to even think. And it's being regurgitated and accepted by a very small percentage of people who are in our community, who actively go out to research and present evidence or photograph stories on Facebook groups mostly. Yes. So let's look at some of these comments and stuff. Been kind of ignoring. Make sure, hopefully I'm not muted or anything. That'd be bad. I'm talking about different stuff. I see. Appreciate everyone's comments and stuff. That is very. I didn't know that, Iron Dogger. I hope the best for you. And to get that, I see you've been trying different stuff. That seems to be working. Awesome. Everyone go show support for Iron Dogger over at her channel. I'm sure she has ways to help donate and stuff like that. Yes, YouTube monetization is a little touchy subject, I would have to say. Sometimes I get hit with stuff, and then other times it's like, how come, I didn't get hit with stuff? And usually it's using clips and videos and mostly sound, actually, from different stuff. But I always try to challenge and fight some of that stuff because it's all educational purposes. I'm showcasing these videos for a purpose and stuff. And if you can get around some of that restrictions and stuff by how you're presenting your channel and educational purposes, and if you're documenting purposes, and but some subject, like when we talk about conspiracy subjects and conspiracy theories and stuff, when we've had that's the only subject we've had during the live stream, those don't get monetized at all. They don't even get like a chance to get monetized. That's the only time that it's like a flat out nope, is when I've had a couple of shows talk about some conspiracy theory stuff, where if it was majority of the show, especially the one that was refused. All right, so make sure I went through all the videos that we had lined up, and I'm pretty sure we did. We did this time. No videos left out. All right, Iron Darker. Well, no matter what, we hope the best for you and stuff. She says, I captured something bizarre like an orb one night. I have absolutely no idea what it is, especially how it floated and went into the trees. You can hear the joint just about fall. Just about fall out my mouth. All right. All right. So I'm going to look at some other stuff. So basically, you know, with the advent of AI and AI imagery and stuff, we can basically make whatever we want to look real. And you know, some of this more AI like image generation is a very, unless you pay specific stuff, you know, it's a lot. Most of it's, you know, not as very good graphics yet, not very super convincing. Some of the black and white videos can be very convincing, but sooner or later, you know, we'll have some AI photographs, AI videos that can be made within seconds and stuff that will, you know, look real, but still cheesy, but, you know, real enough that some people, if it wasn't as cheesy as this was with sharks bouncing a ball, but if you just had a shark jumping in the air of the water close to a boat with a guy swimming, you know, would probably convince a lot more people on the fly, especially when you know, don't make it ridiculous like this. And you have a Bigfoot in the woods that's passing by, and it, you know, comes into frame for a couple seconds, then goes out, and you have some people chasing it and they're acting and stuff. You know, you can trick a lot of people, and so we will definitely be seeing that more and more. I like the way that always looked. So but what we have is basically every Bigfoot storyteller's dream. And so all we're going to do is have ChatGTP make us a Bigfoot story live on chat. So if there's any details maybe you guys want, I type them out in the comments right now, because the more details we add in to the story, I think the better it probably would help. But we'll do I'll do a real basic, just a Bigfoot story encounter. And that's it. But if you guys want to add in particular details or have it influenced in some sort of way, we could definitely do that. And it will be influenced, I'm sure. So let me all right, so I said, write me up a Bigfoot encounter story set in California. And of course, it's already wrote a pretty good story and stuff. So, you know, a couple paragraphs full of the story, literally of itself. It's called The Whispers in the Redwoods. So let's just read the story as it is. In the heart of an ancient California redwoods. In the heart of the ancient California redwoods, Sarah, an avid nature enthusiast, embarked on a solo camping trip to immerse herself in the serenity beauty of the towering trees. Little did she know that her journey would lead into an unexpected encounter with a legendary creature, the elusive Bigfoot. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Casting long shadows through the redwood groves, Sarah set up her small campsite. The air was thick with the scent of pine, and the only sounds were the gentle rustling of leaves and the distant calls of nocturnal creatures. Little did she know that her night was about to get a surreal turn. Around midnight, Sarah awoke to an eerie silence that permitted in the air. Uh, the once comforting sound of nature had hastened. Confused, she unzipped her tent, stepped out into the moonlight clearing. In the distance, she heard faint whispers, a guttural language that seemed neither human nor animal. Curiosity overcoming caution, Sarah ventured deeper into the redwoods, guided by the mysterious sounds. As she approached a small glade bathed in moonlight, she glimpsed a massive, shadowy figure standing among the trees. The creature's eyes glowed with a otherworldly intensity. Frozen with awe, Sarah watched as the creature slowly revealed itself. A towering, hairy being, unmistakably resembling the legendary Bigfoot. It stood on two legs, observing her with a mixture of curiosity and calmness. The whispers continued, and Sarah sensed an inexplicable connection with the creature. With a gentle motion, the Bigfoot beckoned her closer. Overwhelmed by a strange sense of trust, Sarah approached cautiously. Her heart was pounding. Through a silent exchange of glances, Sarah felt an unspoken connection with this ancient being of the redwoods. The Bigfoot, seemingly aware of her presence, shared a few moments with her before vanishing into the depths of the forest, leaving behind an awe-inspiring, indescribable encounter etched in Sarah's memory forever. As dawn broke, the redwoods whispered their secrets once again, concealing the extraordinary encounter in the heart of California's ancient and mythical woods. Bada bing, bada boom, and then you have a little storytelling channel, and you can make those all day, baby. And that is the click of a button. And you could touch it up a little bit. There's some stuff that you could just add in or take away from to make the story a little bit more real. But overall, you could have a pretty easy basic outline for any kind of story you want. And that's why you shouldn't really believe storytelling only channels where there's no one on the channel to talk about their encounter. We can't see and hear from their own mouth, from their own face as they're telling the story. Emails, again, you type it. I mean, you have 1,000 emails all day, baby, every day. I could read them off all day. And if I was how to hunt, I mean, I have an unlimited supply of emails and stories that can just come up to me like no problem. Yeah, and it's and the more you do it, the better you get at it. And that was it. Write me up a Bigfoot story set in California. That was it. I mean, you could write a whole bunch of details of what you want, how the story progressed, blah 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 blah. And you could type and fine tune it. So that's why I don't, I don't like story channels. I don't like face value. If you can't see the person, if you can't hear what is coming out of their own mouth and see how they react on camera, it's not, it's not a good showing of truth, of integrity, And, I get sometimes people are scared to come out and tell their encounter, but at the same time, the only way to be very, positively truthful of a story is seeing a person tell the story over and over and over, but at least once, So I did some talking with some AI a couple days ago, and last week or the other week. I just lost it about Bigfoot's inquiries and stuff, some Bigfoot talk, and so I thought I would share that with you guys, and it's something you guys could do. And so I asked GPT to show me a data sheet of all the possible regions in Michigan that can support a population of Bigfoot, because see what it can come up with. And it said, well, I'm sorry, but there's no scientific evidence to support the existence of Sasquatch or Bigfoot. So there are no known regions in Michigan or anywhere else that can support the population of Sasquatch, as it is considered a mythological creature or cryptid creature, and its existence has not been verified credible by scientific research. Therefore, there is no data or information related to blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, I can prove it's real. The existence of Sasquatch and Bigfoot is a subject of great debate and speculation, but remains unproven by scientific standards. If you believe you have evidence to support the existence of Sasquatch, it's important to approach it scientifically and share your findings with the broader scientific research community for evaluation and scrutiny. The scientific evidence typically involves rigorous research, peer-reviewed studies, and verifiable data. You may consider documenting any evidence you have, such as footprints, photographs, and other observations, and then reach out to experts in the field like primatology, anthropology, or wildlife biology for their input. It's important to remember that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and scientific consensus is essential in the establishment of existence of cryptid creatures. That's not bad. It's not bad from Chat GTP. If some of these people who are photographing little Bigfoot that are this big read some of that or asked around Chat GTP, they might actually evolve a little bit on the next level. And so I said, how extraordinary evidence do I need to prove Bigfoot? And then the response that it gives out in 0.0001 seconds is, to prove the existence of a cryptid like Sasquatch or Bigfoot, you would need exceptionally strong and credible evidence, such as these claims challenge established scientific understanding. Here are some elements that would constitute extraordinary claims, and then of course it lists it out. So it's pretty nice use of some AI to help Bigfoot researchers. Instead of hoaxing and manipulating stuff, we can actually use it to our benefit. So what are some elements that could constitute extraordinary evidence? Well, let's read 5 different ones. Multiple independent observations, numerous credible and independent eyewitness accounts or observations from different people and locations, which strengthen your case. Which, well, it's all anecdotal, right? But if you have multiple witnesses with you and you have an encounter, especially, when we have someone not in our group that comes and has a real encounter, independent observations, or I've seen Bigfoot. There's other people in the Bigfoot communities who's had observations and stuff like that. Not too bad. We got that one pretty much covered. Physical evidence such as DNA, samples, hair, scat, footprints must undergo rigorous scientific analysis and testing. The results should be conclusive and support the existence of a previously unknown species. If the scientists who were doing the DNA did it the right way and had integrity and didn't want to manipulate the results. That's kind of one that we're a bit stuck on nowadays, of the DNA evidence getting tested and it comes back as human, and whether or not that if we're testing it the right way, if we need to dive in deeper into the human DNA testing that they're finding, stuff like that. We're pretty stuck on that. So number 3, clear and high quality media. High quality photographs or video with clear and unambiguous images of a creature would be valuable, provided they can withstand expert scrutiny. Like a new film of the Patterson film, right? Not too hard, right? We're kind of trying, almost 50 years later still. Number 4, scientific studies. Conducting systematic and peer-reviewed systematic studies, such as ecological surveys or population assessments, would be essential, which I don't know how you would try to do unless you were boots on the ground, physically seeing and observing them, like Jane Goodall, which if you were doing it like that, you would already have high-quality media. You would already probably have physical and DNA evidence as poop and scat and all that. Definitely would have multiple, hopefully incredible observations if you're able to determine the population and do a review. On number 5 is expert validation, collaboration with reputable scientists and experts in relatable fields to evaluate your evidence and validate your claims is crucial. Except for no scientists really want to validate anyone's claims because they think we're all Squatch Watchers. So that didn't really help me. And then it says it's important to approach this matter with scientific rigor and skepticism. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Many alleged Sasquatch sightings and evidence have been debunked or remain inclusive, which is why the scientific community remains skeptical until compelling and verifiable evidence is presented. Which, yeah, I would agree, but they definitely don't want to help validate anyone's claims because they're pretty much tired of everyone thinking an owl is a Bigfoot yelling at them, right? So I said, how would you approach a Sasquatch or make them come to you? Thinking, hey, what could AI come up with, right? Because obviously humans aren't doing too good. So what can AI come up with? So the chat GPT says, approaching or trying to make Sasquatch come to you can be risky and challenging. Okay. Given the uncertainty surrounding its existence, you're interested in researching or encountering such creatures, it's important to prioritize safety and ethical considerations. Okay. Respect nature. Always respect the environment and wildlife. Follow leave no trace principles to minimize your impact in the natural world. I would definitely agree to that. Safety precautions. If you're venturing into the wilderness, be prepared with essential supplies, navigation tools, and knowledge of the area. Pretty good. Passive observation. Rather than trying to actively approach a Sasquatch, focus on passive observation. Use binoculars or camera equipment to document any potential sightings from a safe distance. Why didn't I think of that one? I mean, these are fairly good. I think for people who are taking pictures of little Bigfoot this far off the ground, definitely should be. This is a learning opportunity for them. Nighttime observations. Some sightings are reported to occur at night, so consider nighttime observations with nighttime night vision equipment. Okay. Record the data. Document your observation with date, time, location, and other relevant details. This can be valuable if you plan to share your findings with experts or researchers. That's actually not a bad idea. Data. And, just because it's all up here, eventually it's going to get a little murky and all that, right? Better to write it down somewhere, document through video or audio. Seek expert guidance. consult with researchers and experts in the field of cryptozoology. Who are those people? Anthropology or wildlife biology to gain insight into approach your research ethically and responsibly. Remember that trying to make a Sasquatch come to you might not be advisable, as it could potentially endanger both you and the creature. If it exists, always prioritize your safety and ethical considerations when exploring such topics. And be prepared for the possibility that your research may not yield definitive results. Some of that was actually pretty good advice, I think. Honestly, I think that was a lot better advice than most researchers go by, because they're definitely not as structured like that. Even though, just passively observe it. It's as easy as just use your binoculars and cameras from a safe distance instead of trying to approach one. Hey, Pine Island, how's it going? I'm gonna read a couple more of these, and then I'll put the link in chat if anyone wants to come on. It's getting kind of late. A little bit, getting a little late. And then I said, who are the experts in cryptozoology in Michigan? Hint, hint. Anyone famous in Michigan that I should definitely know about? Cryptozoology is a field that explores the existence of creatures not yet proven by science, such as Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. While cryptozoology is not widely recognized by the mainstream science, there are individuals and organizations with interest in the subject. Finding experts in cryptozoology, specifically in Michigan, may be challenging, as it is a relatively niche field. You don't say. You could consider reaching out to the local universities, natural history museums, or wildlife research organizations in Michigan to see if they can connect you with researchers or individuals who are in cryptozoology. Apparently, there's a lot more cryptozoology people to reach out to. Additionally, online forums, conferences, social media groups focused on cryptozoology may help you find like-minded individuals or enthusiasts who can provide insights or information on the subject. Just keep in mind that cryptozoology is not a widely accepted scientific discipline, so it's important to approach this topic with critical and open-minded perspective. Not too bad. It actually says to, seek out researchers interested in the subject in online forums, which is groups, which is conferences and social media channels, stuff like that. So, Chat GTP is not too bad when you start asking different questions. There's another one that I thought was kind of interesting. Here's the link in the chat. I asked it, what would be one new innovation that is needed to help find Sasquatch? And Chat GPT says one potential innovation that could help aid in the search for Sasquatch or other cryptids, is the development of advanced autonomous camera systems equipped with artificial intelligence for real-time analysis. These cameras would be strategically placed in remote and likely Sasquatch inhabited areas, and they would these cameras would automatically detect and record. These cameras would use AI to detect potential Sasquatch-like movements, heat signatures, audio cues. When triggered, they would start recording in high quality in video and audio. Immediate analysis. The AI system would analyze the captured data in real time, looking for anomalies that match the characteristics of Sasquatch, such as size, shape, or vocalizations. The alert system, if the AI detects a potential Sasquatch encounter, it could send alerts to researchers, devices, or central monitoring stations, allowing for immediate response. Minimize human presence. These systems could reduce the need for human researchers to be physically at location, which might make it less likely for the Sasquatch to be deterred by human activity. Data storage and sharing. So this system would securely store all the data, making it available for scientific analysis and review. Such an innovation could address the challenges of gathering evidence of Sasquatch without the need for constant human monitoring and intervention, while also minimizing the potential false positives by minimizing the potential for the false positives by using advanced AI for analysis. Because advanced AI is better than the human eye when you're looking for faces in bushes. And however, it's important to acknowledge that the existence of Sasquatch remains unproven, and the scientific community is highly skeptical. And so the development of such systems should be approached with such caution. So all we have to do, guys, is develop an autonomous camera system equipped with artificial intelligence that looks for Bigfoot. And then we'll pick up any Bigfoot audio, any Bigfoot movement, any Bigfoot heat signatures. If we had some thermal components in there for thermal camera and stuff, so we could read the temperature and stuff, temperature of a Bigfoot. If we, don't have any of the data to actually input it, right? Because, it's all speculation, right? You could input the size. Oh, yeah, the heat temperature of the Bigfoot should be whatever, right? So if we had an autonomous AI game cameras, and audio system out there that on the real dot could turn itself on at the blink of any Bigfoot audio, because it would only recognize the Bigfoot audio or the Bigfoot imagery, and they would turn on and start recording and do this and do that, and shove it right off to the scientists right then and there. Which is not bad idea, actually. And these systems actually are more used by government and military for facial recognition systems and stuff like that, basically, except for use it for Bigfoot, audio cues and stuff, which is we have gun detectors. When you shoot a gun off, you have these speakers and stuff that can detect not only where the gun was shot, but what kind of caliber and stuff based off the acoustics of the sound that the gun is fired and makes and stuff. So basically, turning some of this AI technology, a whole lot of money into a workable package would be highly intense work and money to be able to do, and to be able to program a system to analyze for Bigfoot stuff and do all this stuff. We simply don't have the data to even make that happen, and all of that, if we did make that happen, would be theoretical data. You would have to teach it that when a Bigfoot walks in front of the camera to start filming it and stuff based on the movement and the sensors and stuff. You would have to program that without actually having a body and knowing what a Bigfoot is and its proportions and all that. All right, so I said, what would be another innovation for boots on the ground researchers with Sasquatch? Another innovation to assist boots on the ground researchers in their quest to find Sasquatch would be the development of specialized sensor and data collection equipment, which is biometric sensors. Developed advanced non-invasive biometric sensors that can monitor Sasquatch habitation areas for physiological data such as heat signatures, heart rates, and vocalizations. These sensors would be strategically placed in known or suspected Bigfoot habitation areas and could provide valuable data without direct contact. Which actually is not too bad. If we had biometric sensors to sense the heartbeats of Sasquatches, that would be a pretty awesome piece of technology that we actually do have. Well, the military has. They have heartbeat detectors where you can see people through walls and stuff. And there's different applications with Wi-Fi. I actually have a video that I can edit up and show for next week. That a AI system through Wi-Fi can use Wi-Fi signals and like echolocation and radio signals. It can, like sonar, and basically figure out where a person is in the rear room and actually with AI draw the exact spot on a monitor and can basically see where you're at through walls using AI routers. So basically, eventually, if it's being shown publicly, there's obviously already a lot of technology that is already used military purposes. So that you have a device, you can go up to anyone's home and through the Wi-Fi, you can look through the home and stuff through radio signals, Wi-Fi signals. And I will show a video that actually shows that next week. I'm sure you guys can use Google and type it in right now. I'm sure I could find it right now, but well, the point is that there are technologies that are not accessible to the public that we could definitely use to find Bigfoot a lot faster. I'm sure that's why how could the government or the military not know about Bigfoot or not find evidence of Bigfoot or not come across these things? Here's one that we actually do have now. We are using more and more is environmental eDNA sampling. Equip researchers with portable eDNA collection kits, which we actually already have. We actually have the ability to do this right now. These kits that allow them to gather and analyze environmental samples like hair, saliva, scat, to detect the presence of unknown species. The eDNA technology has been used in ecological research and could be adapted for Sasquatch researches or investigations. Putting out filters to collect in the water systems, water filters. Jeff from Pine Island Research was talking about collecting mosquitoes through a vector and collecting their DNA samples and stuff like that. So we actually are already doing that eDNA type of thing. When you have footprints, before you cast the footprint, take a little sample of the dirt, put it in a little bottle or something, so you have the eDNA from the footprint cast. That should have some type of skin sample, oil residue, something that hopefully will turn up. Drone technology, which we have. Drones with advanced imaging capabilities can be used to survey remote and difficult to reach areas from air, capturing images and video, and even collecting environmental samples. They offer non-invasive ways to gather evidence. So right up there is an innovative way for percent ground researchers to boost their game is drone technology, which is pretty interesting and awesome stuff. The only drawback to that is very limited flight time. I think, depending on what kind, if you get a more professional drone and stuff, you're looking at half hours and stuff. And then you buy a bunch of batteries for about the same price you bought the drone for, and you can fly around for a couple hours. But you need a thermal. I think you really need a thermal camera on a drone to really capture anything. I almost bought a drone, and will eventually get one, but So I don't know. I don't know until I get one. You know, there are a lot of limitations and stuff where in places you can't fly. You can't fly in any of the national parks or anything like that. Technically, you can't film in any of the national parks with your for commercial purposes. So you anything that you film almost technically can't be put on YouTube for conversation for getting money. But at the same time, it's one of those, that's public area. We fund it. What are they hiding? You can't take pictures of Bambi, huh? So that's kind of one of the, I think the issues eventually as researchers and people who just want to film. The park system rules on not being able to film is very fishy and why they're in place. So number 4, field DNA analysis tools develop portable DNA analysis tools that allow for on-site genetic analysis of potential Sasquatch-related samples. That would be amazing, but since it costs thousands of dollars to get that all done, tested into a lab, the likelihood of us getting hold of portable DNA analysis kits and testing stuff, on-site laboratory type things, or something you just push into you put it into something and bing, bada, boom. That's pretty future realistic stuff, but that'd be pretty sweet. Real-time communication systems to improve communication devices to ensure researchers can relay data and findings in real time to a central command or a wider network of researchers. This can facilitate coordinated efforts and swift responses to encounters. So, if we all had a central Dropbox of potential evidence stuff that went to all the researchers to go in and look at, and as soon as something happened, we popped it in for. I mean, that's not a bad idea. So we have improved communication systems with actual researchers or real evidence of, oh my God, this just happened to me. And not the bullshit fantasy people, but the real researchers and groups of intellectuals and critical thinkers that actually want to come across real evidence and, to get that put into a Dropbox or something that everyone can view, and then everyone can go on top of a thread and start talking about it and stuff. It's not too bad of a innovation. And so I asked for another innovation for boots on the ground research that we could adopt in the use of advanced. So this is the response I get. Another innovation for boots on the ground researchers could adopt is wildlife tracking devices. Cutting edge tracking devices that could monitor movements of animals include potential Sasquatch with scientific specific areas. These devices could be like GPS collars or that GPS burr that supposedly got tagged on one, right? Machine learning and pattern recognition algorithms and pattern recognition software to analyze data collection from camera traps and audio recorders. So we need a bunch of AI programmers and programmers in general to look over and analyze and get all the most legit audio and video evidence that we have. Most of this would be a lot easier with audio, but take all the data banks of all the most legit audio that we all can agree on. You put it all into the computer bank for the computer AI to learn and stuff. So when you're out in the woods and you have that piece of software on a device, it'd be a pretty interesting device. But if it hears audio that it would put into the category of Sasquatch, which you program it to learn and programmed into it, it would only capture that kind of data. But to do that, we would need real audio that you could agree on, and a bunch of AI programmers and algorithm creators to figure that sort of stuff out. But hey, you give me that piece of equipment, I'll go put it in my piece of woods when I think I have Bigfoot activity, and hey, we'll make that happen. But on our own, our community, we it's really hard to make some of this stuff happen. We have to reach out to outside of the community, to real scientific equipment and data, programmers, scientific minds, and stuff like. So again, this is acoustic monitoring arrays set up for networking of high quality microphones, acoustic sensors to capture and analyze sounds in remote areas, advanced algorithms to help distinguish potential Sasquatch vocalizations from other wildlife noises. So then that piece of a device, that audio equipment, can now recognize Bigfoot sounds that you programmed into it. Now it's only going to specifically record when it starts hearing that stuff. And so potentially that will be looked at and considered more legitimate. But to program it and stuff is, we're not really there yet. And I don't see any programmers and people of the industry and stuff sitting down with anyone to get audio clips to do that. Environmental sensors, of course, these are like the biometric sensors and stuff, but these are more environmental sensors to monitor temperature, humidity, the atmospheric pressure, such data to provide insights into the environmental preferences of the potential species. Autonomous ground vehicles or robots can be navigated through the tough terrain to collect data and sampling. And of course, these little robot drone vehicles, instead of flying drones, robot drones in the middle of the woods and swamps and all this, would be equipped with the same data. So I thought that was a little funny because that is so impractical. That would never happen. But I thought it was a little cute, little fun to talk with some AI about some innovation that maybe we could do to help the Bigfoot research community. Give a little opinion on sort of things that what it sped out and stuff like that. So let's take a look. We'll be probably shutting the stream down here in a little bit. Yeah, the word critical thinking does have a bad taste in some people's mouth when you bring that up, because of they think that's the skeptical nature, the critical thinkers of the coalition of the critical thinkers of the jackasses. Yeah. This is definitely a good thing. I don't know if you Central Florida, if you've seen the video I showed, you'll get a kick out of it. And I will show it right now. I don't know if you did see it. I'm going to show you, Matt, a flying fairy. Oh, look at that. A flying fairy that you can move around and control. And let's make it fly over here. Oh, you see it fly? You see it jiggle? You jiggle it off the lens. And so people, present this as reality, as a flying fairy where it's like a lens flare reflection off the light of the fire off the camera. And you can make it dance, you can make it fly, you can make it do whatever you want. And that's what Matt is saying when he learn the camera, learn some of the stuff that can happen when you point your camera at the sun, at some fire, at some light, at what happens, and so you don't get tricked into thinking it's a orb out there or a dancing fairy. You know, you can know that that's it. Yeah, the key is is always having your cameras running, and that is me because yeah, fairy stuff. Yeah, it's lens flare stuff. The problem with filming all the time is batteries. Depending on what kind of setup, cameras, and all that, you know, your battery life is, and you know, practicality of filming everything. You know, if you don't have backup of SD cards or even I think I got like 16 hours for 16 hours off of that plus 9 hours. So I have 16 hours off the daytime cameras. I can use them at nighttime and stuff with a flashlight. And then I got 9 hours with the nighttime footage with the the infrared camera, not infrared, night vision camera and stuff. So, but if I run them like continuously, that's only one night of footage, right, through the night vision camera, and then all the data off those SD cards are stored up, and then you know if you 2 days of filming nonstop, well, that's only one whole day of 8 hours and one whole night of 8 hours, and you've already filled up your SD cards, and now you have a whole another day and a night investigation. So it gets kind of hard, especially you don't have all the ability to power your camera up with battery power or battery banks, backup battery banks, but you don't have enough storage capacities. Like, so a lot of people and researchers, and even myself, I can't really film nonstop all the time. I can film nonstop when I think stuff's gonna happen, about to happen, and and we go in this area, but I can't film all the time and stuff. And then you have to go look through the footage. And then you have to figure out what you want to do without footage. So I do kind of get that where you can't. Sometimes you want to try to film all the time, but for most common people, it's kind of hard. And now audio and stuff, you have a simple audio recorder to film all night, no problem and stuff. Those are really good to have on you too, because that's something that can just nonstop go. But for video and stuff, it's kind of hard to have a non, $1,000 professional camera, not even a professional camera, it's $1,000 camera, video recorder camera or a photographic camera. Anything under that, you don't really have all the options for like batteries. You don't have the options for all the stuff, so you're kind of jerry rigging as you go with battery banks. And but if I bought, which I almost did, I almost dropped the money on a $1,000 piece of I don't know what brand it was, but it would have been a pretty nice big camera with some night vision technology and stuff, using most of the people make documentaries out of it. But you to buy a big camera like that, do I want to go drag it into the swamp and get it all fucked up, get it all muddy, take it through the dense brush and scratch the fuck out of it? Because I just, taking that $1,000 to run it through the ground, and don't really that's why you don't see a lot of these bigger documentary crews with these very nice cameras. They're not going into stuff. They're nice clear area, nice visible clear walkway, so it's definitely hard. You can have and so the more expensive piece of equipment that people get, you don't want to break it, right? And there's times where you're crossing logs, you're falling down, you're in mud and muck, you're in the woods at nighttime. Yeah, a lot of people don't want to break those equipment. Or some with gimbals and setups and stuff, you have a big old piece of equipment. You're half robot, and now you can't really. You can barely bend over and get underneath the log. You can barely do this, do that, and so it's all give and take. If you want really good, expensive equipment and stabilization and stuff, I mean, you're not really going to be able to like just go off trail anywhere you want, as fast as you want, as hard as you want, because you got all this $1,000 or $2,000 piece of equipment that you don't want to break, you don't want to replace, right? So there's a lot of give and take when it comes to getting equipment, having cameras, but knowing your camera, know how it operates, knowing the lens flares and what trickery can happen is very good. Big cameras are not the way to go. Overrated. GoPro with stabilization can run all day with 5 batteries. Yeah. Helmet cam, that's done. Yeah, I use the GoPros for the day camera, and of course iPhone for the backup and better camera and better night quality. And then my night vision. I was looking at that, man. I almost an option for $1,000 piece of equipment is the Lumix, and definitely is one I was looking to get. But see, I'm not, I don't. Again, I'm not proficient in photography and that, like doing all that with that kind of whole side of it. I'm more like, taking video and doing bigger video stuff. So. And you get into the old swappable lenses and all that. That's for a lot of researchers and a lot of people, that's just a whole nother departure into outer space of technology and stuff they need to learn and stuff that it's what we need to have more professional. But at the same time, it's like sometimes it's easier just to have things ready to go. Even though you can manually do everything and make everything way you want, some of that give and take. A lot of people who aren't going to be proficient in the camera, and they're going to want something that they need to dial in every other time or once. They want that automatic stuff. Turn it on, push button, push play, record. That's it. And that's pretty much what how GoPros are, and are great. Cameras for stabilization purposes. They're a great action camera. Surprisingly, I have a GoPro 7 that works very good still, and got some pretty good audio, which I was surprised that it got, and it definitely has done and paid for itself. 100% over with. And so it's in these newer ones. The new GoPro 12 just came out. I was looking at. But what I'm really interested in trying to get right now is thermal technology to look through stuff. Because I have the right here. Oh, over there. Night vision camera and stuff, and it looks good with the IR. I have a separate IR attachment for it and stuff like that. And that works really good. But it doesn't see through foliage and stuff like that. And the other thermals I had, well, they got stolen by the cross-dresser dude. No. So yeah. And that's another thing is 4K. 4K, we should all try to film and shoot in 4K. The only problem is our computers don't like it, and the uploads don't like that. That's why you buy the most expensive cards. It's not really to hold all the data; it's to download speeds to as fast as you can download it. And 4K. I have not shot in 4K because my older computers just didn't want to work with it, couldn't handle it. Didn't Took too long to edit, too long to do everything. So, but I've not tried the new computer on that. So I'm hoping that it will do 4K work because I would love to shoot in 4K. And uh, yeah, it's just hard when you it takes forever to like because it's 4 times the data that are regular. Yeah, shoot in 4K, and then you put it in 180 when you do all that stuff. Yeah, but then that drops your the amount of storage that you can set your SD cards from, like 4 hours to 1 hour or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the long story short, there used to be people on my group that aren't there anymore, and a couple of them, just didn't work out, but for a lot of different reasons. Long story short, short version, the cross dresser dude, uh, he wasn't cross dressing when he was on our group. Obviously, he was more ex retired government retired. He was the ex FBI or UCI or whatever he kept saying he was. This was the one guy who went to the 168 and stuff, and we had a person who was giving equipment to the Lost Cryptids Conservatory. This thermal is for the group and stuff, and basically when you have smucks and stuff who try to influence other people and talk in their ear, and you have an alcoholic and all this, you gotta get tired of the drama and stuff. And it was give the cross-dresser the thermal, or there's all this stuff that's gonna happen. And hey, motherfucker, I don't give a fuck. You guys deal with it. And so he cross-dresser dude, he took the one I had, and then he somehow stole the other one from the other drunk guy, and then now he's just cross-dressing, so he doesn't do anything anymore. And so it's like, well, okay. How do you approach that, right? Now this would be Dave. You can watch him on. He was the government guy, always talking about DNA and all that. But he's a weird guy. I was say, weird stuff happened with him, and yeah, man. I don't know. Now he's a woman, so when you work for the government and government secrets, and he's not the first manly person from the government who all of a sudden is dressing up as a woman because they don't know who they are. Right? That was the excuse. I don't care, man. But I find it the manipulating and going behind people's backs and trying to get other people to do what you want, and to hate on this other person and try to influence the research group, and then influence people at the 168, so they don't, and then then we had to try to do a conference together, and then of course manipulation over here. Let's set up a bank account of my money. You guys handle the money. I don't give a fuck. Money didn't flow through my hands. that way. It's like, and then you have this person trying to steal $5,000, this person cross-dressing, causing issues over here, and it's like, well. So in the end, it did actually work out because they did everything that they wanted to do to themselves, and they influenced, and they went their own way, and now they don't do anything. And the people who were all about the money and stuff try to do their own conferences and make money off the subject, but there is no money off the subject. And when you don't have integrity and all you want to do is steal other people's ideas and to make money, and you don't have any ideas of your own. I mean, I don't care that you steal my ideas, you steal some of my equipment, you might steal some of the places I research. I do care that you don't have any ideas of your own. You don't have any original concepts. You don't have any original names, because they try to steal my group name. As if this is something that can be stolen and stuff like that. And I'm sad that I care that you don't have any original ideas. You can't come up with an original group. You guys can't come up with your own era. You guys can't come up with your own events and names for the event at the exact basically place of the event too. And so some of those people got other people to join their little money-making scheme, and it really never worked out that way for them. So, yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, Chelsea Manning. Yeah, that's exactly. She became a cross-dresser and stuff. Yeah, and then, hey, I don't know. I feel bad for his sons and stuff, because that's totally left field and stuff. But there's some weird stuff about people, and you don't find out until after the fact. But definitely definitely my fault, and I definitely allowed definitely Chad to be drunk all the time, and allowed that, and his manipulation to occur and stuff like that. And there's other people who, when you have a group of people come together, man, they bring their own bullshit to the table, and in a professional setting, there's no toleration for bullshit. So that's pretty much that's it. So, and now we're doing my own thing. Got a good solid group of members here. We just had our own Bigfoot conference. We're going to have another one next year. No drama, no influencing of bullshit, no money-making schemes, no stealing stuff, no jealousy of and some of the people who are on the group, some of the not well-known people are very jealous of me still. They're still friends with me on Facebook. They still follow me. They still do everything, but they make comments calling me out, calling my shit out and stuff. They just have this need to not fucking stop. I find it hilarious. I actually find it flattering, honestly, that you think I'm that important, that you take the time to constantly watch what I'm doing and constantly worry about where I'm going to go research next, and this and that. And it's like, it's not really that big of a deal. But when you're constantly shit talking on all the these different groups that I find myself in, and all of a sudden the only comment you make is shit talking me, it's like, that's the only kind of people you are, really. So, and there's people who I definitely don't like, and yeah, but people are people, and people have their own issues to deal with. So, sometimes I realize that, sometimes people bring a lot of bullshit to the table because they're dealing with a lot of bullshit on their own, in their own lives and stuff. So when you bring people together, and you have a research area, if you're solo and you're doing everything, keep it small. Don't try to get big and do all this, because then you have people want to do this. Well, they want to do this. Well, we should do this. Well, I want to do this, do that. We should make money doing this. Chad was all about making money. You want to make money in Bigfoot, you talk up to Chad. He's good talker of how you could do it. It just when you go to do some of the stuff ideas that he does, it's kind of like that drunken idea that never will pan out. I've never been attacked as a planter, that though, but my experience with the transgender person, cross-dresser, I can't say he's transgender, he's cross-dresser, would show me, and what he's relayed that, he said that there was plants inside in the Bigfoot community, and there's government people and whatever. And some weird stuff did happen, but at the same time, I do find it extremely fishy that retired government people would seek us out, my group out. I didn't come across them. They made the inquiry to find us and set up a meeting to meet with me and get into the group and seem to cause just nothing but chaos and stuff. Nothing but that. And in the end, disrupt stuff and influence stuff. And I don't know. I guess it didn't work out because they're cross-dressing now, so they got their brain wiped. But anyways, that's about it. The long story short turned into a long story. You can find their videos and stuff. You guys know who I'm talking about because we used to do live shows with Chad and Dave and stuff. But that's just, they proved who they were and stuff, and they can't tolerate that stuff. Can't tolerate that even if you think that they're your friend and stuff like that. That you don't overlook the stuff that you don't overlook the stuff that's in front of your face. I'm definitely glad I was able to do that. However, I was able to. I think we're gonna cut the show off now. 3 hours is a pretty good mark. I think we did a pretty good show smacking around the Sasquatch Watchers and their ability to or their inability to distinguish natural animal calls with a Bigfoot yelling at them or their ability to look at a shifting deer instead of a Photoshop, most basic Photoshop. I think those influencers have more golden nuggets for me to discover because literally the guy picks up a rock on the fucking camera and fucking throws it up the hill. Fucking camera shakes and then rolls down the hill and he claims it's a Bigfoot distracting them. I mean, these guys really either aren't doing this on purpose, they don't really give a crap, they are extremely dull-witted and don't know any better and think that they're hiding this stuff, or a combination of in between. I don't know. Some of the videos I think they're actors, and some of the videos it's like it almost looks like they honestly believe that they're out there experiencing stuff, which is hilarious stuff. All right, so without further ado, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys have a wonderful night. God bless every one of you. Hope you all have a wonderful day tomorrow, Sunday, and check out Nikki's show, Sasquatch Secrets, tomorrow. They are doing the Joe Snyder's Memorial Remembrance show. Joe Snyder passed away very recently, and I'm sure most of you guys knew about him. We used to watch his show and or be a part of his show. And Joe was a person who I actually watched and stuff. I didn't I did talk to him only a couple of times and stuff. I was on a couple shows with him as a guest. I think I was on his show once as a guest. I jumped on one time, but other shows with him. And but anyways, I always like to listen to Joe Snyder when he was doing his shows, and sometimes I would catch myself watching him and thinking, especially when he's going off, and especially when he's taking a break and stuff, and he'd come back and stuff. That would definitely make me smile and laugh, and I'd get a kick out of his personality and how he approached the subject and stuff. And some of his older shows and stuff, a lot of good discussions. So yes, take a look at the show with Nikki tomorrow night to remember Joe. He was a good influencer. He influenced me and stuff. It definitely made me think a little bit differently. I really wish I would have interviewed him on my show with his encounter, or talked to him a bit more about his encounter with Rasta. But we can go on Nikki's show tomorrow night and have remembrance and hear from Molly and share in the delight that he brought everyone else, and certainly in the Bigfoot community and the influence and the joy that he brought. So that will be 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So yeah, that'll be tomorrow night. Everyone just come out, check out. Even if you just want to watch, drop in, say hi. I think that'd be good enough. And so that's what I will be tomorrow. When I don't think I'll be making comments, but I think I'll be listening to it. Might make one little comment and stuff, but everyone take care. God bless, like I said, and when it comes to this subject about Bigfoot, actually use your brain and actually try to think about what you're experiencing out there, what you're hearing, what you see on YouTube, who you're being influenced by when you try to seek information from researchers and stuff. You don't want trash. You want your brain not to be filled with trash and stuff. So I hope everyone enjoyed the show. Maybe learned a little something. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you totally disagree. I don't know. Hopefully you still enjoyed the time. And I will definitely be back sooner or later, for more content. And as we bring in more and more stuff, everyone have a wonderful night and take care.